Hey guys, hope you had a good weekend. Welcome back. This is your week 3 update for ELA 10. It seems like most of you were able to access those Google Slides and answer all the questions. Most of the time, if something goes wrong on online school, it has something to do with technology, and I'm very proud of you for catching on so quickly. Last week, I asked you guys to start getting familiar with the relatively new form of media known as a podcast by having you guys listen to a podcast that I found for you. From what I heard, some of you liked it, some of you didn't. I'll admit, I think it was a little dry, but the information was good. The Perfect Podcast has a balance of both of those things. In search of the perfect podcast, this week I'm letting you guys take control and sample 4 podcasts of your own choosing. Now, the truth is, there are tons of podcasts out there. You could spend the rest of your life listening to nothing but podcasts and still not get all the way through. Just like if you were going into a library to pick out a book, you'd probably start by asking yourself what kind of genre you want to read. The same goes for podcasts. So you'll find this list here in your Google Slides. As you can see, there are tons of different genres, and these are by no means an exhaustive list. You've got true crime, society and culture, sports, history, comedy, news, and you can see all kinds of other genres there. So everybody's got their own taste, right? Now, personally, I prefer history and comedy podcasts, and part of it depends on what mood you're in. When I'm feeling kind of academic and I want to feel smart and learn something, I'll listen to Sam Harris's Making Sense podcast. It's a podcast by a neuroscientist. On the other hand, if I want to laugh, maybe I'll listen to WTF with Mark Maron. And I do have to use this opportunity to plug my favorite podcast, and that is Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. Audrey, on the other hand, is really into health and fitness podcasts that focus on diet and exercise and weightlifting. To each their own, and you get to discover what it is that you're into. As far as accessing these podcasts, there are tons of different apps and websites that you can use. It's almost a little overwhelming, and instead of confusing you, I'm just going to let you guys figure it out. Choose which one you like best. The only ones that I personally have experience with are SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Podbay. All right, without further ado, let's check out your week's assignment. Your assignment this week is to spend some time tasting various podcasts in order to choose the one you will study. Even if you already have one in mind, please sample at least 4 shows. As you listen, take notes on the podcast tasting menu. That's on slide number 6 of your podcast unit Google Slides. To get a good idea of each podcast, you should listen to at least the first 3 minutes after skipping past any opening ads. Once you get the feeling for what it's going to be about, record your first impressions. After sampling 4 podcasts, you will let me know which one you want to listen to a full episode of next week. That is on slide number 7. So just to clarify, you will be responding on the same Google Slides as last week. You can access the slides again by going to Google Drive, into the Classroom folder, and then into the ELA 10 folder. So, where do we start? I would start by looking at that list of genres and thinking, what are you into? If you say, hey, you know what, I am into hip-hop, start by going to Google and typing in the top hip-hop podcasts. And just try a few. That is what I have for you this week. Enjoy shutting out the world and try out some podcasts.